Actually, before 40 Sticks, what Kenyan project was on Netflix?
There was none.
Exactly.
There was none.
Are you
So actually, we were the first batch of Kenyan projects. So by the time we were signed up, in fact, so another headache we had. Remember our issue of the drives?
Yes.
So let me try and explain this in layman. So you take the content, the heavy content, and you lay it out on in edit, and then you do an edit that is kind of low res.
Yes.
Yeah. Then if it makes sense, you connect your drives with the high res so that the edit that you've done in low res can be mimicked and now pick the files from high res and now create a high res. Have I made sense?
Yeah, I've gotten what you're saying.
Now that this edit on top here has made sense, you have to go back to now your heavy files too. But you have 16 CG drives. Wait, let me tell you the pressure. There's a guy called Amin. Amin tried to help us. He tried to help us, tried to connect drives. We tried, but every time you try, something goes wrong. Every time you try. And it's something as simple as you connect 4-5 drives. Then you're trying to load the content. So you're telling the software, this file, its original
is here.
Is in this drive.
Yeah.
The next one, its original is in this other drive. But the way the software has mapped them out, it's able to know from which drive to pick. But now, because it's a long process, you set it, then you go to sleep because maybe it's night.
Yeah.
When you wake up, drive 2 failed or rather went to sleep.
Yes.
So it hung. So there's nothing you've done.
Me with my one camera on CT, I face these issues.
So we had
just to give somebody an example, this evening shoot, this shoot that we've had with you today, this shoot is about 72. The first from when we started to launch was about 72 GB, and that's we're not even shooting in 4K. Are we shooting in 4K, Dero? We are. Oh, actually, we're shooting in 4K, but that's 72 GB from the morning session to lunch. That's 72 GB. You're saying you had a total of, just to show how much weight it is. You guys are not even shooting in 4K. You're shooting in
6K.
Okay.
And we shot for 17 days.
It's okay.
Now,
so how did you fix that thing? How did you finally manage to render or export, not even render, export that? How long did that take even?
God sent another angel. His name is Tosh Gitonga.
Okay.
Let me tell you, I'm indebted to Tosh Gitonga for the rest of my life, because if it wasn't for Tosh, 40 Sticks would not have seen the light of day. Watch out a story at drives. I'll even explain now later after why he was so important in this story. Tosh would always, because Tosh came to our set on one of those days. Yeah. I'd taken Tosh through my process. I'd told him about
and remember
what
Tosh
I'm
had
doing.
Nairobi Half-Life.
Yes.
So he had done a movie before.
Yes. So I told him about everything I was doing. And even by that time, he had already even done Disconnect. So I took him through like what I was doing. I told him the story, nini. And then he even came to our set. So Tosh would randomly ask me, how far have you guys reached? How far have you guys reached? When we went for the presentation with Ben, Tosh was also there because he presented Disconnect.
Yeah.
So we kept in touch after that. So Tosh now would guide me in terms of what to do. So when now we hit a hard spot and things were not working out ile kabisa, Tosh asked, like, okay, explain to me what the problem is. So we tried to explain, then we're like, you know what shall we come to you, we show you. So went with Lucas to Tosh's office. So Tosh looked at it, then Tosh told us, come. took us to another one of his offices there. So at this time, he was running this company with Ezekiel Onyango.
But yeah.
Okay, his partner. So they saw what we were struggling with. So they took us to one of the offices they had there. Then they told us, sit here, use this computer. That computer was connected to a major hard drive that they had. That's number one. Number two, the number of ports, USB ports that this machine had meant that we could connect everything there quickly, easily. And then what we could do was, it was now easy to consolidate the drives, where now these small drives, try and figure out how to get them into bigger drives.
Yes.
Now by then, because we have the promise of Netflix, and I've had the conversation with a few people to tell them we've presented to Netflix, they're just waiting for us to. So someone, how much is a 2 TB drive? How much is a 4 TB drive? MPESA. Kanunua drive. So now it was buying 2 TB and 4 TB drives, so that you consolidate this to 250 GB,
yes.
500 GB, put them together.
Green transcends.
Yeah. So that at least you have less drives, Yeah. So let me tell you, Tosh and Ezekiel allowed us to use their office. We used their office for about 3 months.
What?
Not only did they not ask us for a single cent, they used to even leave us there overnight, trusting us with everything that they had there. Like, they would go in the evening, they come back the next day, they find me and Lucas there for almost 3 months. Never asking us for anything. In fact, there were some days when they were buying lunch for the office. We were counted in that, because for us, money was a big deal,
And this is in COVID.
Yeah. So the challenge, there is the thing that I'm telling you in terms of them going and coming back, because of COVID, curfew, they have to go. Us guys now, we are there, we are locked. Even if, let's say, we work until 11, 12, and now you leave the drives rendering, you have to sleep there because you can't leave. Then at 4 is when now you leave to go home. You sleep, then at about 9, 10,
Lucas.
You come back. Yeah. So it was me and Lucas, and
Edu.
For those, so Edu used to come and go once in a while. So for those 3 months, either my wife or Lucas's wife cook, bring us food, tea, drinks, bring for us there. They go home, they leave us there.
Fakii, this story is amazing. This story is insane. Like, what?
Yeah. For like 3 months, we slaved. Okay. Like, I'm telling you, you do all those things, then you know now, we've got it right. You leave the stuff rendering. So you leave it, imefika 2% by the time you're leaving. Mnajiambia, tukienda tulale kidogo, hata kama itakuwa imefika kama 50-60%, then we just chill for the night, tuone kama itafika 100%. Mnarudi, ilikuwa 4%. And you know what 4% in terms of render is? Yeah? Imekuwa 4%. So now you have to go and figure out what's the problem. Yeah. Then you say, someone tells you, there's a way you can do it in bits. So cut your content. So set to render the first 10 minutes, then 10 minutes, and 10 minutes. So unaeka hivyo. So you set, you go home. You come back, ilikuwa 2%, ilikuwa 6%, ilikuwa 70%, ilikuwa 5%, hii hata ikuanza.
When I'm so happy that you're talking about this. When guys see a video, to the next episode,
they don't understand.
They have no idea.
So we come back, we are like, okay, we think we figured out what the issue is. So we start that process again. We think now we figured it out. You start, then you sometimes even tell yourself, we're not leaving. Tunaka hapa as we watch it. But because you're so tired, you fall asleep. Yep. You wake up, you see you've lalad for 2 hours, you hope you've done like 60%, because 16%. You know, like just small things. The day when now you figure out a way, then you start a process, then it moves so fast, you even start doubting yourself. You're like, no, there's no way. Then you realize when you're done, no, it's not it.
Yeah.
It's not it.
You were doing it at 1080, not at 1080p at...
Kuna siku tulirenda, tulijua tumemaliza movie. Tunaeka movie, sound pekee. Haina picture. Sound perfect. Haina picture. We, tuliteseka. Let me tell you how we tesekad. Now, this was the pressure. Netflix want to make an announcement to say we have a bunch of Kenyan movies and we have this. So we have Sincerely Daisy, then we have Disconnect, then we have 40 Sticks. But now, kina Nick Mutuma washapeana movie yao. Kina Tosh walipeana movie yao kitambo. Sasa, Simu is not, now it's Ben calling to ask what's going on. Dorothy asking what is it. And then you feel, let me tell you, you see a call or a text from Dorothy, you feel guilty because you're like, and I put you on the map and this is what you're doing to me, you know.
And you're like, nimechukua your debt lakini product.
Yeah. Now by this time, we've already even agreed on the monies. But by this time, the monies were not what we were expecting. Of course, NDA na nini, so we can't go into there.
Yes.
But it wasn't what we were expecting. So we tried to negotiate. We made some headway. But then now I was so frustrated. I was at that point of, no, this is not worth it. Akintangoja COVID ishe.
For real?
The theater, I swear. Let me tell you, I was so convinced I would do that. Lucas, my wife, they were like, no, let's just do it. But for me, I was thinking, you guys are saying this because I can see even you guys are tired. You just want to, you know. And at that point for me, the money that they were offering to pay was now going to finish all our debts.
Oh, nice.
At that point.
Okay. But you'd have nothing.
Yeah, would have nothing. Actually, it was just going to bakisha a small debt, but we had already figured out how we would finish it off. But it would take care of, like, I would say 80 to 90% of our debt at that point. So in my head, I was like, my wife and Lucas, they're also tired. It's like they want to get this over and done with. That's what I thought at that point, but it wasn't that. They were like, Netflix is a good platform to be on. So I needed an outs idea. So my outs idea was, number one, my bro Hassan. So I kept on talking to Hassan and I kept on just giving him the different scenarios. So he was understanding what I was going through, and he was trying to also now reason out with me. But now the other person I was having the conversation with was Tosh. And that's why I say, if it wasn't for Tosh, 40 Sticks would not have seen the light of day. Because Tosh just told me, Fakii, you know that thing of foot in the door? This is foot in the door.
This is exposure.
Yeah. This is foot in the door. Just do it. Just do it. Yani, Tosh told me, I promise you, Fakii, just do it. It will work. In the end, it will work. And you know that line that they say, if it hasn't worked out yet, it's not the end. So I went back and I told the guys, okay, sawa, let's do this. So we made the deal. So now at this point, you now start dealing with a distributor, because now you don't do deals directly with Netflix.